had really great luck with loads. So ever since we got off of our home time in Phoenix, we have literally not stopped. It's been from that load at Phoenix, we went to Dallas and dropped our load, and then went over to pick up the next location. At that customer, we have been picking up and dropping to the same customer, so they have multiple things. So we picked up from Dallas and we went to Salt Lake City, dropped at their location there, and picked up a trailer there and ran it out to Burr Ridge, Illinois, dropped at their location there and picked up at their location there, and now we're going to Spokane. So we didn't have to look for an empty trailer. We didn't have to drive to another location. It was super nice. Just went inside with the paperwork, said here's this load, we're picking up another load, swapped loads, swapped trailers, and headed out. So that made it really super easy, where we weren't spending hours trying to get to another location and go in and talk to multiple people. So it really helped us minimize our downtime to give us the opportunity to continue to roll, which is where we make our money. So really happy about that. Let me see. So yeah, yesterday was kind of a heavy, some heavy information. I'm not going to quite go deep in it this morning. One thing I did read yesterday, and then I heard again on the news today, was that people that have been fully vaccinated have tested positive for coronavirus. So one thing about the vaccination, okay, the vaccination doesn't mean that you cannot contract or be asymptomatic with the vaccine. What the vaccine does is it reduces, number one, the symptoms, right? So the Pfizer said it would reduce the symptoms 94%, but all of them are 100% against death or hospitalization. It does not say that it's 100% because you got vaccinated, you're not going to get coronavirus again. That's not what it talks about. It talks about symptoms and then hospitalization and death. So one thing I listened to this morning is when one of the experts were talking about it, is a lot of people who have been fully vaccinated and have contracted it didn't know they had it until somebody in their home or a facility they were in that required testing, they tested and found out they were asymptomatic and they had it. So again, this is another reason why it's so important, even if you're vaccinated, to still continue to follow the CDC guidelines and recommendations of masking up, because you may not be experiencing the symptoms, but you could still be a spreader. For those folks who choose not to get the vaccine, or for a medical reason could not get the vaccine, or who have not had the ability yet to have the vaccine. So again, it's taking that personal responsibility. Even though you've been vaccinated, great, you've been vaccinated, you can hang out with other vaccinated people without your mask and blah blah blah, but when you are around other people, especially indoors, you should still follow the CDC recommendation, because it's not just about you. It's not, a lot of people think, well, I've been vaccinated, I don't need to worry about it. That's great, but it's not just about you. It's about everybody, and it's doing your part to protect our nation. I don't know. I just, where did we get so selfish in our responses? What happened to love thy neighbor? I saw a TikTok, and this chick's like, I've been fully vaccinated, I'm not wearing a mask when I go in. Okay, selfish. It's not just about you. think about, and that's kind of like people are so selfish, especially the ones that are acting really entitled. You know, whew, whatever. I'm not going to get into more politics and all that stuff today. Let's keep this on an upbeat. Let's push forward. It's a beautiful morning. So the funny thing is, it is about 35 degrees here. I'm running north, just past the Great Lakes, heading over towards Fargo, North Dakota. It's warmer here than it is in the middle of the U.S. While it was snowing in Missouri yesterday, it was in the upper 60s up here. Looking at the forecast today, some of the areas I'm going to be passing through, it's going to be like upper 60s, lower 70s in the northern part of the U.S., where the Midwest is going to be chilly, and I just think it's funny. It's interesting how that works out. But yeah, this doesn't look like there's going to be any weather events for us going along the top of the U.S. like this, taking 94 all the way over. We won't be coming by Boise, unfortunately. We'll be going north of Boise. But you never know, on the way back, we may, if we get something, headed back east, we may drop down through Boise. I don't know. We'll see. May be able to say hey to mom and dad. And if we don't, we'll go where we go. We're committed right now to rolling, to continue to make our money, and then in another couple of weeks we'll be in Phoenix. We are scheduled for our second dose of Pfizer on May the 6th. So we plan on being in Phoenix to May 5th, 6th, 7th, leaving on May 8th, back out again. So a couple things. So that'll be we will get our final shot. Then they say it takes about 2 weeks after your final shot to be fully vaccinated, where you're creating that immunity. Then at that point, Alex's mom has already started her vaccine, so hopefully maybe in June Alex can fly home to see his mom. And then in July, we have been trying to think about maybe going to Missouri to spend our home time with brother and friends and family there. That's kind of as far as we got. But Alex does need to go home to see his mom. It's been coming up on 2 years since he's got to go home. We would have went last year, but due to the pandemic, that stifled that trip. So now that his mother will be vaccinated and he's going to be vaccinated, he needs to go home and see his mom. So that will happen more than likely in June. So it's even more reason why we want to continue to roll, so we can start making up that money so that we can get him a ticket. I probably will spend, because I probably will not go. Again, because of the pandemic, don't know the condition, don't know what the travel restrictions are going to be, just to minimize exposure. I will probably just do my home time in Phoenix while Alex goes to Mexico. That way, if there's any delay on getting back, I can still run solo and continue to generate income as a worst case scenario. But if we both go, we're unable to get back, that would be an issue for us. So just trying to think ahead, not knowing what everything looks like. So let me see if you can see me. A little bit. Good morning. And then on another note, the doctor had sent me my lab results yesterday for my testosterone. So I think that in a couple of videos I said that I'm sure that everybody that to Swift when I went for my last checkup, because every 6 months you have to go in for blood tests to make sure that, because testosterone, what's it called, metabolates, or I don't know. Anyhow, your liver is what uses to do something with it. Okay. Well, I have to have my liver checked every 6 months to make sure that it's not doing damage and I'm doing okay. In that blood test, it showed that I was within the proper range of testosterone. So Swift said they weren't going to cover my testosterone. Probably I was in the correct range, because I had been on testosterone treatment for the last year and a half. And that's why I was reporting, I was, I think, at like 367. The range for my age group is between 300 and 600. So they're like, you're good. You don't need it. We're not paying for testosterone. You don't need it. So, I've been off testosterone for like 2.5 months. I still have some vials of testosterone, probably a month's supply, but I got off of it because I needed to completely go off of it so that I could do another blood test, so they could actually see my levels when I was not on treatment. So I got my blood test back. My original blood test, when I got on it with Progressive, they required me to get the blood test 2 times. They wanted 2 tests to verify. First test, I was at 11 for testosterone. The second test, I was at 10. Okay? A woman generates between 18 and 22 on this scale. A man my age, I think 45 to 65, should be between 300 and 600. A woman has an average more than I did. So being off this testosterone now for 2.5 months, you want to take a stab at where I was at? I'm going to tell you, but give you a chance to like maybe voice where you think I might have been. I was at 20. Yeah. So there you go, Swift. I was at 20. So can we please get my testosterone going again? I will tell you, so I did have some testosterone left. So after I got my blood test, I went ahead and took a dose of my testosterone. My energy has returned, because I've been like super like lethargic and kind of not really wanting to do anything, and kind of that just the stuff that happens when you're low testosterone. But I had that one injection 3 days ago. Yeah, I think I did it the day we left. Maybe 4 days ago. Yeah, it was Sunday. So when we were getting back onto the road, Alex gave me my injection, and I had not been able to sleep. It's like I would sleep for like 2.5 hours and wake up and be wide awake. And I had trouble the night before. I had trouble again last night. But what we figured out is that it's the testosterone, because once the testosterone is back in my body, I'm getting my energy back. I actually got more of an appetite back, which is funny though, because when I'm on testosterone, I lose more weight. But maybe it's because I'm more active. Maybe my metabolism gets boosted back up or something. I don't know. But I get more hungry. So I don't know. It's crazy what that does. but it's worse after my surgery. And I had kind of laxed on taking my vitamins, so I would look pretty anemic on this blood test. But there's a couple of other things that I don't understand that I'm going to probably call in and talk to my physician today, just to make sure that everything is good, because she just sent me the raw report, and so I just want to kind of get a rundown, make sure everything's on the up and up, or if I need to step back in when I come in for the vax. Anyhow, so yeah, there's that. Let me see. I think I talked about my buyer's remorse with T-Mobile. This part of the U.S. is good. We've not been having trouble. The trouble that we have with T-Mobile is when we get into Wyoming, up in that like area, like Salt Lake was not that great. Up in that pocket up there of the U.S. is like, even though it shows on their coverage map I should be having a great signal, we really had trouble. And I don't know if it was our phone, because I pulled out the hotspot, which is also T-Mobile, and I was able to hook my phone up Wi-Fi into the hotspot, and I was able to get a connection, but I wasn't able on the phone. I don't know. But I kind of take back some of what I said. I felt like it's been pretty good on the East Coast, and where we've been, even in Texas, was not too bad. I mean, you're going to run into dead spots, especially on the road, in between cities and like rural areas, or like the real barren areas where there's not much of anything. Yeah, I get that. But places where, because we've traveled all of these highways, right? And with Verizon, there was very, very few dead spots. Okay, there was places where it got a little slow, but we still had service. There's been places where we just had no service, not even phone service. So, was it worth the savings? Yes and no. Like I said, we went from $400 a month for 2 phones and a hotspot to $270 a month for 3 phones and a hotspot. Yeah, I think we're okay. So anyways, well, that's about it. I just wanted to say good morning, let you guys know what's up, give you a little update, let you know we're doing good, and that's about it this morning. So again, thank you for those that support us, watching us, comment. I really appreciate it. It makes me feel good when I see people interacting, or leaving comments about our videos. Alright guys, I love you so much. I'll talk to you probably tomorrow morning. I will probably be finishing up doing the delivery tomorrow morning. The way this is working out is I'm driving about midnight to 1 a.m. until about 10 a.m. or so. So I don't know, but we should be in by no later than I think 10 a.m. tomorrow morning. Probably earlier. I kind of gave us a couple extra hours because we're going to stop and shower today. But yeah, we'll see. I'll still do an update tomorrow morning. So talk to you later. As long as I have a signal. Talk to you later. Love you guys. Bye.